in this suffering, in this pain, people are always asking, well, where's God? Why is he not present? Why can't I see him? What is the answer to that?
It's very important when answering these type of questions that you don't trivialize. You don't. Did I say that word correctly? Trivialize people's sufferings and the reality of suffering. And what's always a point of contention for me is that, what do I know of suffering? Well, it's such a comfortable life, Based on what Father Anthony just said, that the Lord who reconciles us to himself by destroying this death through his life-giving manifestation, through his incarnation and the whole story of salvation, the whole economy of salvation. How does he deal with suffering? How does he take on? And what do the scriptures say about this? That he has borne our sufferings. What does that mean? The Lord goes about his life doing nothing but good. From what we know of the Gospels, he is the source of all healing, the source of all encouragement. Wherever he is, death, sin, and corruption are not able to find any footing. They're not able to maintain the authority and the bounds and the chains they have on people. Where corruption manifests itself as sickness and disease and paralysis, he undoes all of that simply by being there and by speaking health through his various miracles. He does the same for us on the level of soul with his teaching. And then he is handed over to the unbelievers by his own, for whom he has come. He came to his own, and his own did not receive him. And he tells us to his disciples, at many occasions, that the Son of Man will be handed over, and they will execute him. They will murder him there unjustly, saying lies about him. Before he does this, in every day, before he does this, he places that at the beginning of that section we call it today's Sermon on the Mount, but it's really like it's more than just a sermon, right? It's the teaching of the kingdom, right? It's the and it begins with what we deem the gospel of the cross daily in the Egyptian church. Every day when you commemorate, when you hold the cross in memory at noon, that's the hour in which we remember him being racked up, literally naked, racked up, executed publicly. And at the moment we remember this evil that we all did, to the one who came to provide us with life, health, and hope, we hear his words, "Blessed are you when they revile you and persecute you and speak all kinds of evil against you falsely. For my sake, rejoice and be exceedingly glad, for great is your reward in heaven." What do we do with this? I say this a lot. And to anyone who might be watching this who has in any way, hovered around this subject with me, I always go back to this, but it's important that we remember that we do not believe in a God who went up on the cross. We don't worship a God who went up on the cross for us so that we are not put up on the cross. This is very important. And we also believe that if we offer up our life to the God who has offered up his life for us, that we trust him with this life. We trust him with come what may, which is exactly what our mother Eve wasn't able to do because of the as the fathers say, because of the poison of the serpent that bit her. What is this poison? So God doesn't have what's best for you in his heart. In fact, God is afraid that if you eat of this, you'll become like him. And so that first trespass, that ancient iniquity, is one that is based on there's something better for me. There's a better outcome for me than what I'm going through right now. Right. And so what adds to suffering when you're not receiving the suffering from God, but that you're actually complaining about it or resisting it?
You add suffering to suffering, right?
You're
one on top of the other.
It's no longer transformative. It's no longer actually healing. It's not bringing you closer to him.
Yeah.
And this is a tall order. I realize.
Yeah.
I realize that what I'm saying here, if someone out there, can we speak? His young mother is going through all of the pain that comes with a disease such as cancer. This is, this could be quite embittering.
Mm-hmm.
However, I want to just not however, forgive me, however, as if that's something dismissible. We realize what we're doing when we are wearing this as a symbol around our necks and tattooing it into our skin.
Mm.
We realize what this is when we at the Feast of the Cross saying the cross is our pride. The cross is our pride in the doxology of the cross. We're not saying the cross as we're not talking about the cross, which is now the symbol of imperial rule and welfare for all. We're talking about the cross that we now. Well, how does Saint Anthony speak about the cross? When Greek sages go visit him, and there's a translator there. In the life of Anthony, as it is written, as it is given to us by the pen of Saint Athanasius, they tell him, they talk to him about the foolishness of the cross. They bring up, there's a foolishness that's attributed to you believing in a crucified criminal. This image of shame and suffering and obviously, it's like today people believing in a convicted criminal who was hung, right, executed in a public physical way. And you say that this is Almighty God, by whom all was created. He says, what's better? To believe in the licentiousness and the fornication of your gods, or, and I'm paraphrasing here, to believe in a God whom, because of what he did, we now are able to disdain and despise death. And what does he mean by despise death here? It means that come what may, nothing will separate me from the love of Christ. I will accept joyfully any opportunity to suffer for his name's sake, the one who suffered so much for me. Father Gabriel, forgive me, but one of the great atheists